rank.
Spitting?
Spitting?
Oh, spitting at them. Is that the sign?
Sign.
Spit!
What is up? Welcome into the Double FU, the FU times 2, the fantasy football universe. This is the Just the Ranks. I am Jeremy. This is Ryan. We are here today to talk Week 12 rankings. Ryan, what's up, man? How's it going?
Oh, it's going great. I'm so excited. Week 12, wasn't it just week 1 yesterday?
Yeah, it was.
When we drafted our redraft teams thinking, oh, man, Saquon Barkley's a great pick in the first round.
Bro, yeah, let's fade Jonathan Taylor. Bro, it's 40 degrees here now, so it's definitely not week 1 anymore over in Amsterdam. Freezing my ass off, heat jacked up. But it's all good, man. We're getting into these rankings here, and we got plenty of week 12 to talk about, such as Jamar Chase's absence, Zay Flowers' potential resurgence because I said you should trade him away on Fantasy Pros, and more. But first, a couple of things, and then we'll hear some hot takes from Ryan and myself to continue things. But of course, we got a Discord. You can jump in. The link is on our link tree on our Twitter bio. Go check that out. Follow while you're there if you do not mind, if you like this content. And of course, if you haven't tried Fast Draft yet, you can still try it and get a free $25 if you pay $25 for your first time deposit match. That's all the business. Who cares about that? Let's talk a little bit about this, Ryan. First things first. I don't even know who it is. Who's playing tonight? What are we doing? Is it Buffalo?
Buffalo, Houston, it looks like.
Yeah. At Houston, right?
Yeah, it could be a sneaky down spot for Josh Allen after he destroyed all my teams last week, scoring 6 touchdowns.
Monster. Absolute monster game. We also have Davis Mills for his third start in a row, I believe. We have some potential hope for Jaden Higgins possibly coming along. We have some, I think, false hope for another Dalton Schultz monster game. And maybe false hope for Woody Marks, who hasn't necessarily put it all together in that monster game that we want to see when we're expecting it.
There's no false hope, I believe, tonight in Woody Marks. I have him very high. I don't know how I have him. Let me check. My tabs are loaded in. I'm a RB10.
Yeah, that sounds about right, to be fair. If I check mine.
I wanted to put him higher.
We'll get to RB rankings in a bit. No, I'm not that high. I'm at 18. I can see him creeping up to maybe 15. There's no way I can push him further than that, but 10. I love the spiciness. So let's talk about this game. We talked a little bit about Houston, so let's continue with them at home against Buffalo. You can run all over Buffalo. You could pass on Buffalo a good amount too, but the tight end actually really suffers against Buffalo, probably because you can do whatever else you want. What are you thinking here, Ryan, about these Houston pieces? Are you starting Davis Mills and staying in the Flames? Are you starting almost all of these position players? What are you thinking on the Houston offense?
I think I'm in on almost everybody. I mean, this Buffalo defense is really bad. There's no way to sugarcoat it. I mean, of course, they stayed in the game last week because of their offense, but their defense is not great. They don't have any of these guys. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to.
I do.
They have Josh Allen, James Cook's great, but they have no one else on either the offense or the defensive end that's going to stand out. I mean, Keon Coleman's out here getting benched for the second straight week.
Yeah, it's definitely a strange one in Buffalo. You got Terrell Bernard, who mostly holds things down in the center. You got Taron Johnson, who's sometimes plays, sometimes doesn't because of injury. But outside of those two guys, you really don't have consistent defensive line play. Sometimes Bosa and Epinesa show up and go nuclear. Sometimes they don't. This is a good matchup for them to do that with a horrible Houston offensive line. But yeah, the weird thing that I was mentioning about a play like Dalton Schultz, who has had a couple of good games in a row here, especially with Davis Mills, the Buffalo Bills are the worst matchup for fantasy points allowed to the tight end position. You can run all over them, but they are limiting the passing game, but probably because teams just choose to run the crap out of the ball. I think Woody Marks and Nick Chubb in desperation is viable because he could get some short yardage touchdowns, but hopefully Woody Marks utilizes this matchup to break the hell out. RB10, let's talk about him for a minute. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you look at Woody Marks, he's taken over the backfield. He had that big game, and then, it kind of felt like a little bit of I don't want to say a scam, but
yeah, it was.
he had that big game against, who was it? It was Tennessee in the year, and then Jacksonville 2 weeks ago, where you're like, okay, this is it. And then he comes out and finishes like RB30 on the week this past week against Tennessee in a smash matchup. But Buffalo is allowing the second most estimated points added against the rush. Like, they are really bad.
Yeah, real bad.
You were stressing that. They've allowed the most rushing touchdowns. I think they've allowed the most rushing yards too, if I'm not mistaken. Nope. They're up there. They're at fourth. But it kind of feels like Woody Marks' day. This Texans offense has been operating way better under Davis Mills. I don't know what it is.
Yep.
It kind of feels like a Bengals situation where the Bengals offensive line and the offensive, well, I wouldn't say offensive weapons because Jamar Chase and T. Higgins still get theirs, but like the offensive line operates better. The running game operates better under Joe Flacco instead of Joe Burrow, which obviously he's coming back soon, so we'll have to talk about that. But I just think that Davis Mills operates his offense a little better than CJ Stroud. I don't know.
Yeah, I think some of these young quarterbacks, not all of them, but some of them don't have the fear necessary to play the position, and they got knocked around and they get injured all the time. Sometimes it helps for like an old man Flacco or Davis Mills who doesn't have a ton of talent to just operate in this fear mode behind these horrible offensive line, get the ball out quickly, do a little dance, expect the rush instead of kind of just sitting back there and playing normal quarterback. You have to adjust when things are different. You have to be really careful. And as Jamie mentions, the Texans are struggling because number one, their offensive line is bad. Number two, Woody Marks is not necessarily the biggest guy, just 5'10", 208. Nick Chubb, of course, is a shell of what he used to be. He can show up in spurts, but not for full games. So they figure out how to utilize these guys together. Maybe they can develop something functional. This is the matchup to do it. Again, desperation-wise, I'll flex a Nick Chubb if I have to. Woody Marks, you have him in your top 10. He's definitely going to end up in my top 16. Happy to play Woody Marks tonight, and I think you definitely should. Before we get into our rankings, let's just jump to the other side of the ball. Ryan, Buffalo, who are you not starting? The Bills aren't starting Keon Coleman, as you referenced earlier, but who are you not starting for the Buffalo Bills?
Everyone not named Khalil Shakir, James Cook, and Josh Allen.
All right, so let's talk about Khalil Shakir for a second. That's an interesting name. He typically has the volume. It disappeared last week against Tampa Bay, just 3 targets, 1 reception for -3 yards. The wide receiver 106. But Houston is the worst matchup for wide receivers. I know a lot of that's the Derek Stingley effect. I know he usually plays the outside guy. And Jalen Petrie is out in this game. So there's probably room for Shakir to operate. My concern is this secondary can do things, and it's not so much the secondary that it is the insane pass rush that Houston is able to generate. I'm a little concerned about Khalil Shakir in this game. I think it's more of like a James Cook, Dawson Knox, ugly kind of game. I think Josh Allen has to do it on his own. Why do you like Shakir this week over the rest of the options? I know there's not a ton there in the passing game.
Look, I think it's a 1 week thing. Before this, he was getting targets. He's 9, 8, 7, 3 weeks before this. Yep. Also, he gets the dad buff. I don't like to use these non-football stat things all the time, but the dad buff is real. I swear it happens. So, he had a kid this week. So
yeah,
I think it's
do it for the newborn.
Just saying. I don't like to use outside factors outside the football field, but this is one of them. Always happens.
Yeah. It does. You do hear about it a lot for sure. I am fading Shakir. I can't do it. I'm sitting him where I can. I understand it, though. It's not like there's anyone else that you want to play who's a pass catcher with Kincaid injured. So if you have to flex Shakir, I get it. So I'm with you there. But it sounds like I'm going to have him lower than you have him this week. Overall, what are we thinking in terms of scoring? High scoring, average, lower scoring? What are you thinking for this game?
think it's going to be pretty average unless Davis Mills gets out there and absolutely balls out, honestly. I mean, the Texans have the best statistical defense in the league. I mean, estimated points at it, they're crushing Denver. So I think they're going to limit Josh Allen a lot. They've been good. And if Davis Mills gets out and going, it might get a little high scoring. But I don't know if I trust that.
Yeah. Listen, I hear you. Two pretty decent matchups in his starting gigs, but the QB1 against Jacksonville, who just crushed Justin Herbert, and the QB10 against Tennessee. Against Buffalo, it shouldn't be a slog for him. He's thrown for almost 300 yards in each of these games, but he's throwing it over 40 times a game. Like we talked about, we expect the Texans to be a little bit smart here, run the ball a little bit more. It's a Woody Marks day. Maybe Mills can get there, but he's more for me a desperation play in a super flex league, in a 1 QB league. I don't think I'm playing him. Are you playing him in 1 QB?
No.
Yeah. And that's saying a lot. That's saying a lot because we just lost Michael Penix. We just lost Dylan Gabriel. Shedeur Sanders or Davis Mills? This is an easy one.
Oh, it's Davis Mills.
Yeah. Kirk Cousins or Davis Mills?
Davis Mills.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Let's get into those rankings now, actually, and let's talk a little bit more about Davis Mills because, of course, that's what everybody wants to see. We're going to add it to the stage, and we'll see. Hey, Ryan disappeared, but we got everything else set up here, except we are on running back. So let's bring it to quarterback. We will zoom in a little bit so you can see what's going on here. And Ryan, I have Lamar Jackson. If you can hear me, Lamar at 1. You can see the rest of this list here. Big Drake May, who is on the poster board there, at 2. Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, all the way down at 4 because of the tough matchup. It's hard to fade him beyond the top 4 or 5, I think. Especially this week, beyond the top 4 felt egregious, but he'll sit that there at 4 against one of the best defenses against the quarterback position for fantasy. You've got Jared Goff at 5, Stafford 6, Hurts, Purdy, Darnold, Brissett, Dak Prescott coming in at 11 against a really, really tough Philly D, and Jackson Dart if he plays at 12. What do you think of this top 12 in week 12?
I like it. I mean, nothing too different outside of mine. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is probably the one we have different. I'm down at 7. I just like a couple of these matchups a little more.
Sure.
I mean, Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, Jared Goff. Of course, I have above him. Stafford as well. I have Stafford at 6. Yep. I think he's been playing at an MVP level. It's been absolutely ridiculous. It's going to be tough for the NFC, but actually, I have Jacoby Brissett at 8. I can't believe that. Like we have to talk about that a little bit because who knew that what it took for the offense was getting Kyler Murray out of there and putting Jacoby Brissett in there. Trey McBride has been. We'll talk about him later as well, but man, Michael Wilson last week, it just goes to show you is quarterback. Some of these guys are being held back by quarterback play. Trey McBride and Michael Wilson and Marvin Harrison were definitely 3 of them.
Man, I'm so upset Marvin Harrison isn't playing in this game. I really want to see him with Jacoby Brissett just continue to develop and hit those Trey McBride levels of touchdown efficiency. Absolutely crazy. But Jacoby Brissett last week, you've probably heard it if you listen to any sports media, set the record for completions in a game in NFL history. 47 completions, beating Drew Bledsoe's mark of 45. But Bledsoe in that game, and I know this specifically because this was the game that really made me become enshrined my Patriot fandom. Drew Bledsoe was 45 for 70 pass attempts. Jacoby Brissett was 47 for 57. That's got to be some sort of completion percentage record, like pass attempts above 40 or something like that. That's a ridiculous percentage. And of course, Michael Wilson going off. Of course, no MHJ. Trey McBride eating. It was nice to see that from Brissett. And Brissett now, Ryan, I think he's thrown, I think it's 5 games now that he has started in a row. Yep. In the last 6 weeks with the bye week there, he has thrown 2 touchdown passes in every single game. He's been a quarterback 1 in every single game. And now he gets Jacksonville. It's really hard. You can't rank him outside the top 10.
No, you can't. I mean, he's revitalized Trey McBride's career. He almost has more touchdowns with Jacoby Brissett in these like 5 weeks than he does with Kyler in 3 years.
Insane. That's
That
like
just goes to show you what Kyler's free agent market's gonna be like. Hello, future Pittsburgh Steeler. But anyway,
or New York Jet.
or New York Jet. That's one of the two. I don't
Carolina
want to go any
Panther.
further than that. 'Cause it's those three teams and nobody else.
Yeah,
And it could not be. It might not be the Jets if they get up to 1 and draft a quarterback. Who knows what's going to happen there? But yeah, Jacoby Brissett, most completions, absolutely ridiculous. Like, we were a little too hard in Arizona.
Yeah. So far, looking good. We'll see if they can win enough to get into the playoffs. So far, so good on that end. But it's going to take a nice little effort. After Jacksonville, it's Tampa, the Rams, then that Houston defense we talked about, Atlanta and Cincy, who hopes to be vying for a playoff spot themselves. We'll see. Not exactly the best rest of season schedule for Brissett, but he's been crushing so far. Let's move to QB2s. You see Caleb Williams, Danny Jones, Baker Mayfield, Jordan Love, and the rest, all the way down to Kirk Cousins at 24. I wanted to move him further down, Ryan, but I couldn't because you see the names below him and their matchups. What do you think about any or all of these QB2s this week?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Bryce Young this week. Like, look what he did last week. I mean, maybe it is because he just an Atlanta Falcons merchant. He's 4 or 5-0 against them. He's been averaging a ton of passing yards, ton of passing TDs, but you throw in the tape and he's got some good throws. He's looking good on tape, and it's just so tough to rank him lower than fit. I got to take him lower. I see I have Jackson Dart below him. I got to move him up 1 second. But anyway, I'm down at 16 now. I just think that you got to let these quarterbacks develop. Like, Bryce Young showed some seriously good tape last week, and like I said, maybe it's because he owns Atlanta, but these QBs aren't getting time to develop, and you see that down at the bottom. Because a lot of these young guys you have down at the bottom, I have down at the bottom as well.
Yep.
Brutal matchup this week, but it's just so tough to go away from Bryce Young after that monster game, and we saw what Jacoby Brissett did against San Fran this past week.
100%. That was going to be my point, as we were just talking up Jacoby Brissett and the most completions all time against a reeling San Francisco defense. Just so many injuries. They're down to their third string middle linebacker at this point, who isn't even technically a middle linebacker, in Curtis Robinson. IDP League, shout out. If he's on your waiver wire, go get him. Otherwise, yeah, it's really ugly for San Francisco, just with the defensive injuries. And so, yeah, I should probably move Bryce Young up. The QB2 last week, 448 passing yards and 3 tutties with no picks against Atlanta. That's a monster effort from that man. But let's talk about the potential monster effort from the guy right above him in rankings, number 18, Joe Flacco. He's playing in a decent matchup, not great, but New England gives it up to the passing game, except it might not be Joe Flacco this week. It could be Big Joe Burrow. I think this is a lot of smoke. I think we need to wait another week or two, but Burrow is practicing in full. Obviously, I'm going to move him up to about QB 15, 14, probably above Daniel Jones, because the New England matchup, you can get over on New England in the passing game. And we know the Bengals basically need to win out to get into the playoffs at this stage. Number one, do you think Joe Burrow is going to play? Number two, if he does, how well do you think he does this week?
Well, no. I think you're right. I think we're a week away. I mean,
yeah.
How good of a storyline would it be if he comes back on Thanksgiving against the rival Ravens?
Yeah.
It's a Thursday night game as well. It's the nightcap, so you kind of want that one to be good for all the viewers after their Thanksgiving turkey. But I would temper expectations against the Patriots. I mean,
agree.
You said you get them in the passing game, which is correct. You can. They're about middle of the road in that. But it's everyone else outside of Christian Gonzalez that's given that stuff up. And now there's no Jamar Chase because he spit on Jalen Ramsey, even though he said he didn't. His reasoning was, I don't even know, man. He said I would spit in his face instead, but
yeah,
whatever. I don't know. But
did you see the tweet about the OJ? It was like the OJ book cover, the "If I Did It" book by OJ. This is how I would have done it. That defense is not very good from Jamar Chase.
I don't know. That Bengals team is falling apart. They need to get Zach Taylor out of there. That's besides the point. T. Higgins is going to get locked up by Christian Gonzalez all game, so we'll see Andre Yoshibas, maybe Mitchell Tinsley get it going.
Yeah.
I mean, Noah Fant could be a good option, but New England's defense has been way better than we expected, and obviously they're 9-2. They get a lot of flack for their schedule on social media. I don't know if you see that.
Yeah.
They have
the easiest so far. Easiest so far and the easiest yet to come, pretty much.
And then they're like, oh, yeah, let's just suspend Jamar Chase for this game, make it a little easier.
Yeah, for sure.
Tell me.
I agree with you. We talked about Kirk Cousins, 24, too high, too low, just right. What do you think?
Just right. I have him at 25.
Yeah.
Man, that traded with it. The Rams. Whoo.
Oh, yeah. Talk about it, because I did see this. It looks like, who is it? The Rams have probably the number. I think it's right now the number 7 or 8, but it's likely to be a top 5 pick.
It's likely to be a top 5 pick, and it just goes to show you how hard it is to get quarterback right in this league. They spent $150 million quarterback. In the same offseason, they took a guy in the top 10, and now they don't have a quarterback, and that was only one offseason ago. So,
unreal.
Just goes to show you.
Yep, totally agree. Don't play any of these other guys. I know Geno had a decent game last week in garbage time. That's not going to happen against Cleveland. Shedeur Sanders should probably be lower, but he's the second worst starting quarterback for me. It's Cam Ward against Seattle. That's just going to be a bloodbath. Gotta love Cam Ward, but they don't block for him. He's got no weapons. It's just a really, really hard situation for him. So this is not the Caleb Williams situation, because it's actually really much worse than what Caleb Williams had to deal with, I think, last season. And basically the same situation. I know Caleb wasn't getting Waldron to sit down with him and watch tape, and he was basically left on his own. But Shedeur Sanders Cam Ward is absolutely getting pummeled back there behind the line, and he's still making some of these hero ball throws. You got to give it up to the young man for just sticking it out and sticking in there and staying healthy enough to do it each and every week. But I think this is kind of one of those David Carr situations that we are concerned ourselves with. Is I think David Carr, right? Derek Carr's brother from years ago, had the most sacks of any quarterback in history for a time there in a season, and it just kind of stunted his growth in his career, and he got shook. Sam Darnold struggled from the same thing for years before they were able to figure it out, and he felt comfortable behind an offensive line. You could argue that Daniel Jones had the same issue, although he was a bit more mobile. So he was able to have some escapability there. But Cam Ward is kind of a decent comp to Darnold, because I think he has the skill set there. Obviously, he was the number 1 pick, but he's just got no help right now. He's in a lost situation, and it could take him a Sam Darnold number of years to get right in this league.
Yeah, I think he's going to be great in a second spot.
Yeah.
Once he gets out of Tennessee. But yeah, I have those 3 guys. I have it Cam Ward, Geno Smith, Shedeur. I mean, with those matchups against Seattle, Cleveland, and Vegas, is just Shedeur. I think he's going to take a lot of sacks. I mean, it was on when you watch the tape last week. It's what was there in college was there last week. He holds on to the ball a little too long. Yeah. But I agree with Cam Ward. You watch the film, he takes this bad sack, he doesn't check down all that much, and then he makes this insane post route throw over like the top of a defender.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, what is he doing?
Yeah. As he's going to the ground from getting absolutely crushed, unable to finish his follow through, as a guy's just in his armpit,
I feel so bad.
Dropping it in the bucket. I mean, that's the trouble with Cam Ward's situation right now, but really like the player and hope he turns it around. Speaking of not liking the player, you mentioned Shedeur Sanders, 4 of 16 last week in relief. I get it. It was Baltimore, who has been improved defense. They can get after the passer a little bit. And certainly Shedeur Sanders was not expecting to play in this game, but he's got a whole week of preparation. Vegas is not a tough matchup, but they're not a good matchup. They're middle of the road. And he's got San Francisco next week. And if Dylan Gabriel isn't ready to go, I think and then Tennessee the week after that. So if he's able to play 2-3 weeks here, he could show development that you're happy with. I'm just not sure I expect it.
I don't expect it. You see some of those tweets people are firing off. Oh.
Yeah.
It's gone a little too far for me.
100%.
I was watching ESPN's draft podcast for 2026, and they had them taking Dante Moore, and then Mel Kiper talked about Shedeur like he was talking about him during the draft. I'm like,
yeah, that's right.
It gets a little too much at a certain point. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Listen,
I don't want to be a hater, but
hey, and we don't hate these men, right?
No.
That's the thing. Is like, look, some people do, but we don't hate these men, but we do hate this player at this stage. For us in fantasy, it's all about value, or at least I can speak for myself. I know I can speak for you. For us, it's about value. It's about play on the field. Shedeur isn't showing it. I hope he's able to come out this week and absolutely blow the doors off. I'd love to see that. But just because of who his dad is, just because potentially the color of his skin, just because the attitude that he presents himself with, I don't know what the factors are. They are myriad. But yeah, people, I agree with you. The Shedeur hate has gone a little too far.
It's a little too far, but you do remember he's a 5th round prospect. That's the thing. Like, it's not like he was over. I think he was properly drafted for what he put on tape, and everyone could have varying evaluations of Shedeur Sanders. Yeah. I just think the media has pushed it a little too far. You saw some of those tweets that I was referencing this past week. I think the media has really done it in for him. I really believe so. I think that's what's really pushed it over the edge beyond anything.
Yeah. Agree with you. Sadly, you see the rest of these names here. Aaron Rodgers isn't going to play for a couple of weeks. Look, some of these injuries that we're going to talk about here haven't really hit mainstream, right? I got a lot of questions yesterday over on TikTok in the Q&A about guys like Drake London. Should I trade Drake London for this? Yeah, trade him. He's not going to play for weeks. Should I trade Aaron Rodgers? Yeah. Aaron Rodgers may not come back this season. I know he wants to, but he's got a broken non-throwing wrist, and that's going to take a couple of weeks to heal. And, he's trying not to have surgery, but holy hell. So just keep in mind that these guys, some of these guys that are on this list right now are dealing with injuries, and we'll reference them all here for you. But for example, these are guys who could get in the game, but Tyrod is starting over Fields. And then we know, of course, the rest of the situations here. Dart should be back. We'll see if that persists. But let's get into running backs here as well, and we'll see if I can make a quick change, which is always quite difficult for me. But hey, all right. So you see it here, and we do have a comment. Let's have a look.
Jamie's not a Shedeur fan.
Jamie's a Cleveland Browns fan, so Jamie's probably not a anybody fan. I can understand wanting to see Gabriel back in there because at least he was, manning a functional offense, but it is rough. I'm just going to leave that comment there. That's gold, Jamie. That's gold. If you look at the top 12 running backs for me this week, it's Jahmyr Gibbs at 1. Absolute smash matchup against the Giants. CMC at 2. Can't push him down too far. Bijan, although I'm a little concerned about this offense. Then you got Barkley, Taylor, Henry, Travion Henderson with Ramondre coming back. I'm probably not going to touch him. He's staying at 7. Kyron, Cook, Dowdle at 10, all the way up at 10 because of that San Francisco defense. Javonte and Quinshon Judkins feels a little high at 12. But right now, that's my top 12. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm on board with it. Travion, I have him at 9. I want to push him down further because I feel like Mike Vrabel's going to do it. We're not going to like it, but I think he's going to do it. I think he's going to try to get Travion, just a handful of touches, and I don't think I could rank an RB1 with a handful of touches, but maybe that's just priors and what Mike Vrabel has shown us throughout the season, or what he's done with Derrick Henry. He had Derrick Henry back in Tennessee. He kind of capped him for his first year over Dion Lewis. And you see that side-by-side picture all the time of him and a 5'8" Dion Lewis in the backfield.
Yes, love that one.
But I have Bijan down a little further too. I'm at 6. I'm concerned with Kirk Cousins. I mean, you could focus all on Bijan. No Drake London. It's going to be very tough for him. I have Jonathan Taylor up at 3. I can't move him down any further. I don't even think I need to give an explanation for that one. He's just Jonathan Taylor.
Where's Derrick Henry for you?
Derrick Henry for me is 5.
Yeah.
I couldn't see him there. I'm got to get new glasses, I guess, because he's right at the top of the list. I think the schedule is going to come around for him. I mean, he has the Jets this week. I mean, Lamar hasn't been the same. He gets Cincy twice. You get Cincinnati twice. He's the clearest buy, but I don't think you could buy him.
Yes.
It's
Agree.
It's gonna be tough, but yeah,
I would say
Pittsburgh and New England as well. So
I would say you could buy him. For example, would you trade T. Higgins for Derrick Henry if you were the
absolutely,
T. Higgins owner?
absolutely. I'll take a week off at T. Higgins. He's gonna get the Christian Gonzalez treatment. Jamar Chase is gonna be back.
Would you do that move vice versa if you were a wide receiver needy team?
No, it's gonna be tough. I'd try to go for
Yeah.
Tet, but I don't know if you
Yeah.
could get him after last week. We're gonna talk about him a little bit more as a wide receiver one finish, but
Yeah, I'm fading his ass, by the way. So
yeah,
spoiler alert.
we're gonna argue about that in a little bit.
We are.
But
Last question here. Travion, I know you have him a little lower, so here's a question for you. In the same game, do you prefer Travion Henderson or Chase Brown?
no, I've chased Brown 2 spots lower. It's very close.
It
He's
is.
been getting a lot of that receiving work. I just think Travion, he's shown too much over the past 2-3 weeks that he's got to be up here. He's the league winner. If Mike Vrabel doesn't bench him, I know we overuse the ever living heck out of this term,
Yep.
but he is the league winner. I mean, he has a bye.
RJ Harvey's the league winner.
RJ Harvey needs to be used to be the league winner. I don't see that one coming, but I saw a screen of Tyler Bidet last week on Red Zone. I just knew it was over. But you have Cincy, you have New York, the Giants, you have Buffalo, who we were talking about with Woody Marks ranking in our top 10 this week. They're very susceptible to getting, got by the run. Baltimore, the New York Jets. I mean, is there a good rushing defense left on this guy's schedule? I mean, even not even considering fantasy, week 18, he has Miami. Like,
yeah. Listen,
what a perfect run out.
I absolutely love my New England Patriots leading the NFL in win percentage. They might be tied with the Broncos, potentially one other team, but 9-2. Good Lord. Absolutely got to love it. Let's talk about these RB2s. We mentioned Chase Brown there at 14, Aaron Jones up at 13. You can run on Green Bay. I don't care who it is. You can run on Green Bay. You should run the crap out of the ball against Green Bay. I think Aaron Jones gets a ton of work. DeAndre Swift, Breece Hall, Ashton Genty. Great player, tough matchup. Woody Marks there below Genty. That's a volume thing for me. Kareem Hunt, Kenneth Walker, Warren Irving, assuming he plays. He's right now on track to play. Travis Etienne might have to bump him up because Bashal Tootin might not play with an ankle. And then Emmanuel Wilson, will he, won't he? That's a Josh Jacobs question. He's also banged up, but apparently it's just a bruise, so it's possible he plays. I don't know what happens with him, but those are my RB2s right now. What do you think?
Yeah, so my rankings, I have to move a guy down. I have Kenneth Gainwell and Jaylen Warren back-to-back because I'm going to rank them both at the same spot, depending on if Jaylen Warren plays or not. They're both going to be at RB18 for me.
Fair.
So I like your RB2s. I'm just sitting here thinking, how can I get Ashton Genty lower?
Yeah, I agree with that.
I have him at 21. You have him at 17.
Okay. Yeah.
Man, you consider situation coming in the NFL. He might have got it the worst. Like, all these rookies are showing out. And yes, he's had his moment against Chicago when I believe he finishes an RB1 or the RB1. It was
the RB1.
It was 3 touchdowns. So I'm just assuming, I'm not looking at it right now.
Might have been 2.
It was one. It was at least 1 through the air. It was 1 on the ground, 1 through the air, probably. But you see this and you wonder. You're like, okay, last week 6 rushes, 7 yards against a very gettable Dallas defense, which did upgrade with Quinnen Williams on the defensive line. So you kind of, give me a take there. He's coming off of 2 good finishes. Cleveland, it's not a good matchup. He has Philly and Houston on the schedule still. It's just one of those things where he had so much hype, and he was a round 1-2 turn pick in redraft.
Yep.
He was somewhere in that ballpark. He was probably the worst pick in redraft. If you take out injuries, you subtract everything that's happened this season. I think he was the worst pick in redraft leagues this season. I don't see much promise from him to end the season. And, Las Vegas has to upgrade this offensive line. It just goes to show you the running backs are as good as the offensive line. You see that with Saquon this year with the Eagles offensive line kind of struggling as well.
Yep.
It's all about the offensive line, and Ashton Jeanty needs 4 new players on his. I mean, Colton Miller's hurt too, so I'd say 3, but
yeah. It's been really tough. I don't have anything to add to that at all. Chris Cross, thanks for joining us. Give us about 2 minutes here. We're going to run through the rest of these running back rankings, and then we'll get to your Lamar question here. Interesting question there from you. But let's talk about these RB3s quickly. From David Montgomery, there's Bashal Tootin. We'll see if he plays. Charbonnet, Kamara, Devin Singletary. In a fine matchup with Dart back, but will Dart steal the touchdowns is the question. Kenneth Gainwell, Big Bam Knight, Tyrone Tracy, Monungai, Tajay, Tony Pollard back-to-back, and Tyler Algier. I will add one caveat. I think I did these rankings before DeMarcado was ruled out, which was for me late last night. I may have to move Bam up. But anyway, what do you think about these RB3s?
I have the same guys in the same range. I want to talk about Blake Corum a little bit. I know it was a tough matchup last week. Seattle, it's absolutely brutal. But he's been kind of eating in that work a little bit for Kyren. You see these rushing attempts, 8, 12, 13, 13. I mean, he's been more explosive. We talked about this on the show as well. Mm-hmm. Is this a 50-50 kind of split we're getting into a little bit?
I will say I don't care because Kyren Williams scores the touchdowns. This is like if Kenneth Walker were the Zach Charbonnet role and Zach Charbonnet were the Blake Corum.
Man, you can't say that off of Kenneth Walker coming off an actual good game against a tough opponent. Come on now.
Because they actually gave him a red zone carry. That's why. And he punched it in barely, by the way. Barely punching it in, Kenneth Walker.
It still counts. And that receiving work as well. They need to give him the ball more. I know I've never seen fantasy Twitter more united on an issue. I don't think it's an issue, but it's an issue to us.
Unreal. And Zach Charbonnet will probably outplay his RB27 ranking there. Kyren Williams, I hear you with Blake Corum and his attempts 14 and 12 over the last 2 weeks, but his fantasy points haven't decreased because he's scored 4 touchdowns in the last 3 games. He's still scoring. He's still ripping off a ton of yards per clip in his. I don't have the average of the 3 games, but since the bye, he ran at 4.5, 5.2, and 7.5 yards per carry in those 3 contests. Kyren's still the dude, but yeah, if you need to flex Blake Corum, you probably can, especially against Tampa and then Carolina next week.
Yeah, I think he's the best handcuff in fantasy football right now. He's getting the work. He looks good. I mean, you could argue Tootin as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you could also argue Kenneth Gainwell at this point because when he gets in, he just scores a mad amount of fantasy points.
For real.
So I think it's those 3 guys. If they're on your waivers somehow, I mean, maybe Blake Corum sitting there. I don't think Tootin after this week, after the good game against the Chargers. But Blake Corum could be sitting out there. I'd pick him up off the waiver wire, just in case Kyren, something happens to him or, he somehow cuts into this work a little bit more. I don't think that's going to happen necessarily, like you've been saying, but he's a great handcuff. And this late in the season, I think we should argue that you want to be stashing these backup running backs just in case something happens. Because what upside is a wide receiver going to give you this late in the season?
Agree with you 100%. Up until this past week, we would have said Tyler Algier is one of the best handcuffs in the league, except like you are, I am also very, very worried about this Atlanta offense. No Drake London, and of course, no Michael Penix Jr. No, because he was flex worthy, but
he's like Charbonnet.
Yes, but this offense it's not going to be as effective, although they should lean on the run. We'll see what they end up doing with old man River back there at quarterback. Let's get to these questions. So, Ryan, just give me 1 or 2 names in about 15 seconds on anyone else you see on the screen here you want to talk about.
Oh, boy. Anyone else on the screen?
Michael Carter?
Tank Bigsby. I mentioned Tank Bigsby real quick. I think he's looked good in his limited work in Philadelphia. You can put him up there with Blake Corum right below because, I mean, it always seems like they give him the ball on 3rd and 20 and he gets a first down. I don't know.
That's from the Philly homer. Don't trust it. Watch out for the guy.
Yeah, I'm just saying he looks good. He looks good in limited work.
He does look good. I agree with that. But I was like, Chris Brooks is sneaky at 48 there. Will Emmanuel Wilson get all of the work if Josh Jacobs sits for this week and multiple weeks? Who knows? Chris Brooks could be involved. He has looked good in limited work. Dylan Sampson looked good last week. They kind of have a 1-2 punch going there. So some interesting names here. But yeah, that's about it for
Stash
the
Brian
running
Robinson.
backs.
That's another. That's the one I want
Always stash Brian Robinson. So thanks for sticking with us, guys. Throw your questions in the chat if you have more. We will get to them right now and for the rest of the show if you have other ones. Chris Cross 04 says, what is up? Rest of season, Lamar Jackson or Matthew Stafford? Trying to trade for one of them. Current QB is Herbert, and you don't trust him. So, all right. So send Herbert, right? And then you probably have to send another significant piece to get to Lamar. So let's start with this question, Ryan, because I'm getting ahead of myself here. Lamar or Stafford rest of the season? Who you got?
Lamar. I'll take the guy who plays the Bengals twice.
Very true.
I mean, he hasn't looked like himself, though. I will say that, he's come back off that injury. Hurt. He's been hurt. He's only had one top 10 finish. This isn't Lamar like, and you see Matthew Stafford going crazy. He has some easy matchups coming up as well.
Yeah,
Carolina's in 2 weeks. I mean, Tampa's probably going to shred them. I mean, I do see Detroit, Seattle to end the season. It's kind of rough. I mean, it's obviously Lamar for me. I don't know about you.
Yeah, it's definitely Lamar with the schedule. You got to hang your hat on that. I see people talking about Zay Flowers. I was talking about Zay Flowers. We'll have to get to that. Wait for that in the wide receiver section. But I think Lamar gets there regardless of who is catching the touchdowns on the other end. But Matthew Stafford, his last 4 games, Ryan, only threw 2 touchdowns against Seattle last week. But his previous 3 games, 4 and 5 touchdown passes. In each of those games, we know he can sling the rock. We know these guys catch the touchdown passes. But I'm not hanging my hat on that, especially when the matchup is better on the side of the guy who can run the crap out of the football. We're going with Lamar. Not only can Lamar run it, he can also throw for 180 yards and 5 touchdown passes. We've seen this multiple times throughout his career. He did that in like 4 TDs the other week as well. And none of them are going to Zay, but he's still throwing those touchdown passes. I agree with you. It's Lamar rest of the season. Trade for him. So, Ryan, here's the question. Send Justin Herbert plus what to get to Lamar and redraft 1 QB?
It's going to be tough this late in the season. I mean, I'm trying to look at running backs you might have on your team. I mean, Ashton Genty, I'd 100% do it. I'm
Sure.
okay there. You're probably going to need a player in that caliber with maybe a little bit more name recognition than he's been showing this season.
Yep.
Travis Etienne.
Yep. How about again? Because I think, are you comfortable taking that move?
Who'd you say my Wi-Fi cut out?
I guess let's talk about because chances. Oh, can't hear me. I don't know what's happening there. I can't. Oh, it's a shame. Can you hear me or no?
Now I can.
I don't know what the hell's going on.
No, it's my internet. I'm not going to complain about it. I have to call somebody, and I'm going to be very angry when I call somebody. I'll just let you know about that. All right.
Well, things were flipping out on my end as well, so it could be me.
Maybe it might have been StreamYard. There's been a lot of internet outages recently.
My question was, let's pretend you don't want to give up your running backs. You got to give up wide receiver. To move from Herbert to Lamar, what caliber of wide receiver do you have to give up to get there?
I'd say, I mean, would you do Justin Jefferson? Is where we're at?
I feel like I would want something back in return, but yes, I'm a little concerned about 9 chucking the ball wherever the hell he wants to. Justin Jefferson leaping 15 feet in the air, contorting his body just to miss the ball completely and, taking some hard hits as he hits the ground. It's been rough.
It's been very rough. I mean, DK, maybe I think you need a little more.
Probably need a little bit more. Zay Flowers.
Zay Flower. I mean, I don't know why you want to do that if you're trading for Lamar, but
yeah, agree with that.
you might want to stack. But I agree, something like that would be perfect for me.
Let's move on. Jamie's hungry. We appreciate you, Jamie, stopping in, always dropping in the chat. Frosty, thanks for waiting. Dart Purdy, 4 points. My rankings, I believe, say Dart. I think I have Purdy a little too low this week, but I'm not mad at it. I have Dart at 12 and Purdy at... Oh, I got Purdy at 8 against Carolina. Who do you got, Purdy or Dart? I got Purdy, apparently.
I have Purdy at 9, Dart at 15. I'm a little worried about his rushing attempts coming off the concussion. Because Brian Dable was running that man to save his job. And now Brian Dable's not there. So
good point. Dart's still going to score a touchdown on the ground.
Well, he's still going to score a touchdown, but Purdy has all these weapons. So
does he? I mean, are they 100% healthy? Are they
Kittle
using them properly?
CMC hasn't been hurt this season, thank goodness.
Yeah.
But everyone else, I agree.
Everybody in the chat, knock on wood right now to make sure that we keep our Lord and Savior Christian McCaffrey healthy. 4 point, it's a little closer. I agree, but I'll still go Purdy there, especially because that defense is awful. Frosty, I'm not sure if we said this before, but is Garrett Wilson worth the stash? I'm going to say no. Report came out, whether it was yesterday or today, I forget when, but that Aaron Glenn expects Garrett Wilson back before the end of the season. Is it before the end of the fantasy season? I don't know. But certainly this team doesn't have playoff aspirations. We know these guys want to play, but will he play? Should he play? Is he worth a stash for you?
Yes. I mean, a player of his caliber, he's going to come back and demand a crazy target share. And if the quality of targets are better from Justin Fields, which is, I think they will be. I think he could be a wide receiver 2 down the stretch. I don't think wide receiver 1. It's not out of the question, but coming off an injury, I don't want to put my expectations too high.
That's fair. Jamie's sending me photos of us in our chat. Me cracking.
So you're the one that froze. I thought it was mine, and I was just sitting here looking at the screen. I'm like, wait a minute.
Oh, is that how I froze? Awesome. Amazing. Fantastic. Listen, professional podcasting at its best. Garrett Wilson, I would say, he's worth a stash, but I'm not optimistic he comes back and goes nuclear here. Kind of crazy how far we are choosing between Lamar or Stafford. I agree. It's going to have to be Lamar. He wants Pittman Jr. and Herbert for Lamar.
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah.
Do it. Choose Lamar. If you're giving up Pittman, choose Lamar. Would you do it for Stafford?
No.
Yeah, I agree.
I do think Herbert's kind of cooked this season, though. That offensive line is just so bad. I
got the screenshot, Frosty. I got it. We're good to go. Appreciate you, Jamie. Nice. Good stuff here. Chris, 2 RB, 3 wide receiver, 1 flex, 12 team. Lineup would be Lamar. Let's remove Stafford here. I assume that's Chase Brown, Monty, Chris Rodriguez. Yep. JSN, Nico, T-Mac, Franklin, Bowers. Not bad. I like it.
I like it. Yeah. Maybe one more running back, but I don't know how you're going to do that. Maybe a wide receiver trade.
Yeah. Tricky one. Lost the claim on Christian Watson after losing London. Tough one. Shakir, Jaden Higgins, Slayton, Parker, Washington. Who do you want to start out of that group this week?
Probably Shakir. I mean, I like Jaden Higgins a lot, but I'm not ready to give up Shakir after one bad week.
True. Is Parker Washington playing? I think he is, right?
I don't know.
Let's see.
No.
Trevor, they play Arizona. I know he's a little banged up.
My Jags news. I know Brian Thomas
he's a little banged up, but he should play. Oh, Brian Thomas is officially out?
I believe so. Isn't that what they said earlier in the week, or am I?
No, I think there's potential. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting messed up. Maybe that was
he limited practice this week. Okay, I was confused.
We'll see. But yeah, I think you got to go Shakir. The second name there I like is maybe Higgins. Slayton, I'm not trusting it in his first week back after a prolonged absence. Played like one game, then went out again. I'm not trusting Slayton. So Higgins or Washington, I'd probably go Washington if everything else is equal, but Higgins is an interesting name, but just not one I want to plug in. So I agree with you, Shakir. Second part of Jason's question, would you drop Pollard, Spears, Mason? Who would you drop for Tootin, especially he's got ET
Funny, I've dropped
to the stage. We're getting a little savvy here. And then we're going to go with our wide receiver rankings. We got big old
151. We're just
Puka
getting a wide
Nacua.
receiver.
Puka Nacua right here, but who we got at 1? Purposely don't have Puka at 1, but you can't push him down too far. He's got a great matchup. I have him at 4. So JSN at 1, big JSN. I think he's the
board has
wide receiver
disappeared.
1. I can
The
see
board
it.
has disappeared. Technology is getting the better of us today.
Unbelievable. Let me remove
We're
it.
we're two old guys out here with the tech.
How we doing? Yes?
Now we're good. All right.
Cooking? All right.
Cooking now.
You see the wide receiver ones here. What do you think?
Oh boy.
No.
So, Devontae Adams, little concern coming off of 1 reception. I believe it was 1 reception for 1 yard. Yeah, on 8 targets. I mean, a little concern there, just off the bad back. He was holding the back 2 weeks ago. I kind of want to put him lower. I'm exactly where you do. I can't do it. So that's the one. Ibuka as well. I don't know where you have to move him way lower than I do. I'm at 7. I might have to move him down against a tough matchup against the Rams. And then how about Jameson Williams sneaking in to wide receiver 1 territory for both of us? Unbelievable.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. I've switched my Wi-Fi situation, so hopefully this won't happen again. We'll see. Maybe it will. But yeah, I had to put Jameson Williams at wide receiver 12, but I still got Amon-Ra ridiculously high. I think Jared Goff just bounces back this week. What do you think about both of those guys in the top 12?
Yeah, I'm a big fan. Dan Campbell has reinvigorated Jameson Williams in the passing game. I guess I forget the name of the previous play caller. Just wasn't getting it done.
Yeah.
With Jameson Williams. Like the offense was still running fine, but when you have all those pieces, it's definitely going to run fine. And then Sam Laporta I don't know if he's coming back this season. I've heard rumors of a fractured vertebrae. I don't know whether to believe that or not, but if he fractures vertebrae, he's done for the season. So It's going to be Amon-Ra and it's going to be JMO for the rest of the way. And obviously, if you have a good corner, you could obviously put Amon-Ra, out of the game. Quinion put him for 12 targets for 2 catches last week.
Yep.
So, if they take away that primary option, it's going to be all JMO the rest of the season.
Let's go. Finally coming through. Johnny Morton is the offensive coordinator who really isn't anymore. Dan Campbell, the de facto guy there. Chris Olave, also an interesting matchup. AJ Terrell has not been able to do AJ Terrell things that he was doing earlier in the season. I got Tet at 10. That feels bad, but the matchup is so good for Tet. Very happy with my wide receiver 1s. Wide receiver 2s, you got Devontae Smith, Ibuka, T. Higgins. Can't push him any higher. Maybe I should over Devontae, but Devontae gets Dallas. Come on. Pickens, AJB, Zay, Rome, DK, Pittman, Wandale, the rest. What do you think? Watson, Jennings, who do you got?
I'm interested to see where you have Michael Wilson in your rankings, unless I missed him up top.
Nope, you didn't miss him.
Wow, I have him at wide receiver 18.
How dare you?
I know he's gonna cook me this week.
Well,
he's cooking me in 2 ways. He's cooking me in my redraft teams, and he's also cooking me where I have potential points on my tanking teams for dynasty. So I think he's going to be the second option, of course, behind Trey McBride again. Mm-hmm. Decent matchup. I like the peripherals with Jacoby Brissett, who's been cooking.
Yep, I can get him up to wide receiver 28. Addison, I know, is tough. He's so good, but of course, we got the JJ McCarthy situation. Dobbs, questionable. I could see him creeping up to 24, maybe.
Am I insane for having Jefferson 1 spot above Wilson?
Yeah.
Yes, fair. I can't argue it.
We have to talk Zay Flowers a little bit. Fantasy Pros put me on blast because on Twitter this morning for me, because I said that Zay Flowers is a sell. I said we expect him to score, to have over 80 yards receiving. We expect him to score a touchdown each and every week. It never happens since week 1. When both of those things happened, it hasn't happened again for Zay Flowers this entire season. Now, he's been close. He's a 7 receptions for 70 yards kind of guy almost each and every week. Lock in an average of probably 13 fantasy points in full PPR. That being said, they don't use him in the red zone. He's not scoring touchdowns, so he can get there as a back-end wide receiver too, especially in a great matchup. In fact, he's ranked higher than I usually rank him here simply because he's got the likelihood of scoring a touchdown much more so than he ever really does in any other matchup this week.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, I'm glad the comments were a lot kinder to you than they were to me when I talked about Luther Burden. Like, for your comments, they're like, okay, he gets tackled around the 5-yard line, okay, Zay Flowers doesn't score touchdowns. For me, I posted about Luther Burden on Fantasy Pros, like, this guy's an idiot. He doesn't know football.
The shit is this guy? Yeah, I hear you, man. I get it.
Oh,
you gotta hit him. You gotta hit him with the logic sometimes. That's what I try to do.
No, and then he went out and had one catch for like 6 yards, and then we're not gonna talk about that.
Wide receiver 3s from Pierce to Judy. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, can we talk about Xavier Worthy real quick? Because
sure.
Rashee Rice came back and took all of the pie.
Yeah.
And of course he had that injury where Travis Kelce, Chiefs players, like, it's really weird how they injure each other. Last year with Rashee Rice, and now Xavier Worthy this year missing 2 games.
Yeah.
I don't think he's had a wide receiver 1 finish this season. He is not. His highest has been wide receiver 16. Obviously, he's the downfield guy. I mean, he could have had a better game this past week with the long touchdown that I don't know if he dropped or I didn't get to watch that much of the game. But I have him a wide receiver 27. It feels a little too high. I want to move him down. Yeah. And it's really bad that we're talking about him. He was a round 5, round 6, round 7 kind of pick, and you're talking about him. He's probably ruined your season as much as you started him, except for that 1 week. Yeah. So
and you can't play him since Rashee Rice came back, which is what we were all worried about. That's week 7 against Vegas. Then they were against Washington. Then they were against Buffalo. I mean, these are great games. Rashee and then Travis Kelce has been coming on, especially last week. Xavier Worthy, wide receiver, half PPR, 44, 41, 58, 58 over that 4-game span. It's just not going to happen for him.
Nope, not going to happen, especially like you said with Rashee back. I mean, maybe next year it gets a little better because Travis Kelce probably retires.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Yep, 100%. Let's look at the rest of these names. Let's talk to me about these Jacksonville Jaguars wide receivers who are not named Brian Thomas Jr. I have Brian Thomas Jr. buried. Even if he plays, I'm not going to move him up too much. But then your guy, Luther Burden, Jaden Higgins, who has a shot this week to do something. Jalen Coker, who is everybody's fantasy darling. What do you think about the rest of these names?
I'm a big Jalen Coker guy. He was a great stash coming out of rookie drafts. And obviously Bryce Young performed at an all-world level last week against Atlanta.
Yep.
452, wasn't the greatest performance from Jalen Coker, but it was a step in the right direction after, being out with an injury and, having to work himself back in. So I like him as a little dart throw. It's just so rough at wide receiver this year. When you look at these rankings, like overall, you have the top couple guys, you said you felt gross for putting Ted McMillan at 9. We're putting Jameson Williams as a top 12 wide receiver. Like, it just feels like one of those weird years where you look at the snapshot between running back and wide receiver rankings, and running back, you kind of expected the running backs to fall in at least, that kind of general order. Wide receivers are like, okay, what is this,
Yeah. Listen, Jamie's out here giving us damn it. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but the board is gone.
Right. Good Lord. Jamie's out here giving us good. We don't need to talk about wide receivers. Giving us the JJ Zacharyson stats about most points in the slot. At least that's where I heard it this week. But yes, this is a great stat. Jamie, I don't care. Jalen Coker does help to open up this offense. He helps a bunch. He's a good player. I'll move him up a little bit, but I'm not banking on Jalen Coker to save my week.
See, here's the thing, though. Tet played the most slot snaps that he has all season last week. So Maybe that's a Ted McMillan post, Jamie.
Ooh, Jalen Coker, wide receiver 24 last week, 4 for 52. Look, I get it. I hear you. I don't know. Bryce Young is
4
my
for 52
problem.
get you a wide receiver 2 finish.
With only 2 teams
How
on bye,
far
that's
are we
actually
falling with
crazy.
the pass
That's
game?
actually crazy. Yeah.
2 high
19 total
safeties
points
ruining our
to the
game.
slot. Jamie,
Old man yells at clouds.
appreciate you. Appreciate you as always. Oh, Dylan Gabriel. Is he practicing or is he not? He's working on the side. They want to get him back as soon as possible. They're working for a Dylan Gabriel week 13 return. We'll see if that happens. Let's now finally talk about these tight ends, talk Jamie's favorite segment, and then we'll talk a little bit about defensive streamers and kickers, etc., and then get the heck out of here. We're already over time.
It's always fun, though.
It is. I love talking to these guys. You see this guy here, Trey McBride on the board. Ryan, tell us who's going to be the tight end 1.
It's Trey McBride.
It's Trey McBride. Oh,
I
thought I had it queued up.
But I think you do.
Hey, I do. Of course.
There he is. There's the board.
Trey McBride, number 1. Quite clearly, Jacksonville. In fact, I'm wondering how Jacksonville does against the tight end. I think they're fine. No, they're giving up the second most points to the tight end position. This is going to be a massacre across the middle of the field. Jacoby Brissett is going to annihilate the Jags with Trey McBride. They're probably going to triple cover him. Who cares? Trey McBride. Elijah Higgins might be really interesting in this game. He has come through in a couple of better matchups for them with a couple of catches. You're probably not flexing him at all, but just look out for him and a little bit of production. You see the rest of the names here in the top 12. It's kind of rough towards the bottom, as we always know. After the top 5 or 6 guys, it's a struggle each and every week. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the top 3 feels like the locked-in top 3. Tyler Warren has been kind of disappointing. Obviously, they're coming off a bye, but
agree.
He's been disappointing. Brock Bowers has a tough matchup. It's rough at tight end, like it is every year. It feels like you get past these 4 or 5 guys, and you're just thinking, what can I do? Juwan Johnson's a good shout that I want to bring up. I have him all the way up at 9. I think Tyler Shaw has been more than adequate for, quarterback plays as far as that goes. Juwan Johnson's coming off a tight end 2 or 3 finish, my bad. I was looking at standard rankings. 4 for 92 and a touchdown. He's played well with Tyler Shaw as quarterback, so I have him at tight end 9. I like him as a streamer or sleeper kind of start.
I hear that. This is my concern against Atlanta. They give up the 3rd fewest fantasy points to the tight end position. They were the best defense against the tight end for most of the season. That's a credit to, I think it's Xavier Watts back there, the rookie on the back end, 1st-round pick. Billy Bowman is also back, who kind of makes things difficult in the slot in the middle of the field. It's not what it was at the beginning of the season for this Atlanta defense. At the same time, I'm fading Juwan Johnson simply because of what Atlanta can do in the middle. But I hear you. He's a good player. He's the only game in town. He's the guy, he's a guy I really need to consider if I'm going to start him or not in Scott Fishbowl this week, because will the volume be there? Maybe. Will the touchdown be there? I don't think so.
Yeah, it's tough. But I see those updated rankings in the corner of my eye. I see the guy moving up 10 spots. I know we'll get to him.
Who's that? Oh, yeah. I did
Ferguson
that
with the injury to Tyler Higbee, but
did that earlier. How about Hunter Henry? People seem to love him this week. I don't get it.
It's Cincinnati. I love anyone on New England Patriots. I mean, anyone could get there.
Well, no, here's a question, though. Steph Diggs, right? So we know the Cincinnati Bengals, you can do whatever you want on them, except the wide receiver 1 struggles because DJ Turner is actually good at football, and he's been limiting mediocre-ish wide receiver 1s on teams. He limited Michael Pittman. He limited DK Metcalf last week. He's been a concern for weeks for wide receiver 1s. Everyone else on the squads that face off against Cincinnati has been getting there for fantasy, but it's the wide receiver 1s we need to be careful of, especially those who play on the outside. Diggs will move into the slot a little bit more, but we've seen a lot of pop. We've seen a lot of Kyle Williams. With Booty out, Diggs is most likely on the outside. Are you worried at all about Diggs this year? This week, because I don't know if he classifies as one of these mediocre wide receiver 1s. He might still be elite.
He moves in the slot enough. I mean, DJ Turner, like you said, has been excellent, but I just think that Stephon Diggs is better than some of these guys that DJ Turner's been locking down. Obviously, I mean, Rome
Agreed.
got locked down in that 90-point game where he only had, I think he
Yep.
dropped a donut, if I'm remembering
Yeah.
correctly.
Yep.
That's
Steph
ridiculous.
Diggs is better. Diggs
That's
is better
ridiculous,
than
by the
Rome.
way. But I think he moves into the slot enough that we don't have to worry about Stephon Diggs this week. I believe it's a 40% slot rate.
That's not bad.
I did write about Kyle Williams this week, though, because I think he could be a sneaky start.
I agree with that too. Again, every single other player, but maybe we temper expectations for Diggs. Maybe not. We'll see. Let's look at tight end twos. Anybody here move the needle? Colson Loveland, Dalton Schultz are a couple of names. I probably need to move Mason Taylor down, but he's got Tyrod throwing the football. David Njoku might not play all the way down to 24. Terrence Ferguson, Harold Fannin. There's some names here to talk about.
I mean, I'm all in on the Terrence Ferguson show. I mean,
Yeah.
if this is the week to do it,
Could be.
it's this week. I
Let's
mean,
go.
him and Dalton Kincaid are the only tight ends averaging over 3 yards per route run. Obviously, Terrence Ferguson runs limited routes, but
Love it.
he's been splashy in his limited work. I mean, he's been getting big plays. He's caught a couple touchdowns here. So I'm all in on T Ferg this week. I think this rookie tight end class has been one of the best ever. You see all these names up there. You see Harold Finn, you see Mason Taylor, you see Tyler Warren, Colston Loveland's been breaking out. So I think Terrence Ferguson's the next in line. And then who knows about Elijah Royal, who I have down at the bottom of the line.
Yeah. Barner's just been getting the work. I think he had 10 targets last week. Ridiculous. So, yeah, Barner's a good tight end. That's the problem. And he can block, right? Arroyo can't block, although he can catch, like a madman. So it's interesting. Also, Darnell Washington, sneaky, interesting. Got to love him. Breaking out, but with Mason Rudolph back there, could be a different situation. I don't want to talk about any more of these tight ends. Let's just run into DST. I'll cue it up before I cue this up. We got DSTs, we got kickers, we got your Eagles blocking a kick in like week 4 or whenever it was they played those Rams.
That's gonna come down to the 1 seed in the NFC with the tiebreaker now looking at it a few weeks ahead in the future. So
good. Hey, Eagles still winning games. That's what matters. And that defense is still the best in the league after a couple of weeks of are they, aren't they? Yes, they are. But the best defense this week is the Seattle Seahawks up against Cam Ward and those Tennessee Titans. You got the Pack of 2, Browns at 3, Ravens, Raiders, Falcons. You see the rest at the top here. How do you feel about these top defenses this week and their order?
Yeah, my top 4 is the same as yours, just in different order. I have Vegas at 2. It's all about preference. Yep. I have the Patriots up at 5. I think without Jamar Chase, they're kind of limited. T. Higgins will get the Christian Gonzalez treatment, and they're good against the run. So I think the Patriots are up there. The Lions with concern off of Jackson Dart's concussion. The Bears against Mason Rudolph. There's not much to talk about. You see that you pick the quarterback spots. That our defensive rankings are often inverse of our quarterback rankings.
Yes, in most cases, I agree. Speaking of inverse, let's look at the worst. And you can see these guys are playing Lamar, Jared Goff, Drake May, Matthew Stafford, Sam Darnold, Brock Purdy, Patrick Mahomes. So that's what we're looking at. I don't think the Dallas Cowboys are going to have the worst performance. A lot of people have them ranked down below. Dallas is quietly mediocre after the last 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago at the trade deadline, you mentioned Quinnen Williams joins the team, but also they get Logan Wilson to help solidify the middle. He is much better than Kenneth Murray and whatever else they have there. But also, is it DeMarvion Overshawn? It's Overshawn. Yeah. And then there was somebody else who came off of injury. I think it was on the defensive line as well. So they got back 2 guys from injury. They got 2 guys in the deal. Deron Bland is healthy and playing as well. So other than getting cooked by MHJ, he's looked really good. So, yeah, I think Dallas is quietly a mediocre defense, and it makes them a little dangerous in the NFC. They're not going to make too much noise, but we know they'll make the playoffs. What do you think about these bottom defenses this week?
Yeah, I'm all in on that. I mean, I think I'm trying to see who I have a little bit lower. I think we're pretty much in line here with each other. I mean, I have Arizona a little lower against Jacksonville, but I probably should move them up. That's about it.
You never know.
Tampa's down here as well. Yeah, pretty close to the same.
Walter Nolan is an interesting guy because when he came through and finally started playing, he has just been excellent for the Arizona Cardinals and what they want to do on defense. And of course, we know that the Arizona Cardinals also have a decent cover man back there. In the last couple of games that they have played, they played the Colts really tight, lost by 4 points, but did give up 31 points. Played the Packers really tight, lost by 4 points there. Held the Cowboys to 17 points, got blown out by the Seahawks and the 49ers, though. So it has been difficult the last 2 weeks for them. We'll see how they do against Jacksonville, who is surging. I don't know if you want to call that a surge, but they're certainly winning games. Jacksonville Jaguars in the playoffs in 2025, yes or no?
No.
Yeah.
They don't have enough juice on offense.
Maybe. They might win the damn division. I mean, the Colts will, but hey,
That's
it
true.
is what it is. All right. Kickers finally at the top. Anything?
No. I mean,
Nope.
Jason Myers have a little lower than you just because I think Seattle is going to kick a lot of extra points. I don't think Tennessee's going to be able to stop them.
Fair.
So that's the only big, change I have there. Borregales I wanted to put higher against Cincinnati, but same thing. I think it's going to be a lot of extra points, but if they get the occasional stop, these two guys can put up big
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I'm thinking with Tennessee, you got Simmons back. I believe he's healthy for this game as well. So I think he means a lot to that defense. I think they also got somebody back on the back end as well. But hey, yeah, you could be right. I had moved Jake Elliott up like 8 spots. I think Dallas, again, is mediocre at defense, and Philly has been mediocre on offense. I think it leads to more field goals than touchdowns. I still think Philly has this one in hand because their defense is solid. But I think Jake Elliott has a big week.
Yeah, just wait till Nick Sirianni goes for it on 4th and 1 in your own 30 against the Lions. That's
Fair
2 weeks
enough.
in a row now. I don't get me started. I'm up at 6.
Fair enough.
You're going to get me started.
Matthew Wright was playing for, I don't know who, but I guess he's not playing for them anymore. We'll take
I think it was
him
the
out.
Giants. Was it the Giants or was it the Jets?
Was it San Francisco? Why are all these guys? Oh, they're playing. What is happening here? Let's add these guys and figure it out. Oh, it wasn't someone else cut. Mevis is still playing. I don't know. I'm going to have to figure this one out, but let's start from Groupie and look at these guys here at the bottom. What do you think?
It's tough. I mean, I don't see any upside for Joey Sly against Seattle. Jaime Fairbairn, maybe. I'd probably move him up. I'm going to move him up, actually.
Okay.
Because he's a good long-range kicker. He's shown over the past couple of weeks that he can hit from 50+, and that's always an asset when it comes to these guys because 2 50-yard field goals is 10 points, and you're already locked into a kicker one finish. So
yep,
I'm going to move him up, but that's about it at the bottom. I don't see maybe Ryan Fitzgerald, the Carolina Panthers somehow getting a shootout, but you have him higher than I do. So
yeah, I don't know what Haversick is. Haversick really starting over McManus? Did they bench McManus? They might have.
I'm not brushed up on my kickers, but he was 1 for 3 on extra points, so probably not.
All right. Well, we'll figure out the kickers. Who cares? Hopefully you don't play in a league with kickers, but if you do, beware. Chase McLaughlin, maybe he won't play this week. He's questionable with some sort of something. Oh yeah. By the way, I'm way higher. I'm way higher on Sean Tucker than you are. Way lower than you are.
I'm about to say, are you sure about that?
Bucky is coming back. Sean Tucker is irrelevant. Goodbye, Sean Tucker, for fantasy purposes.
Next week for Bucky. I want to see him back on the field though, because these running back injuries are so mysterious. You heard nothing about Trey Benson, and then Sean Gannon shows up to practice, and you're like, "Oh, he's limited today." What? We haven't heard about him for 6 weeks.
Jamie, we can always hear you. We appreciate you joining us. Punters, Ryan, name a punter. That's not a Philadelphia Eagle.
I can't do it.
I can't name the Patriots.
Brad Martin. I gotta Google that.
Is that the Patriots punter? That sounds like a punter name. I'm gonna go ahead and give that to you.
I think it is. No, I messed up. See, there you go. He's a singer. My bad.
Name a punter. There's got to be like a 45-year-old punter.
I mean, Michael Dixon, that's a cheat code because he got drafted recently, and Matt Araiza because he punts for the Chiefs. But I could do 3.
Well done. I got 0. of those. Jamie, appreciate you. Appreciate all of you joining us. This has been Adjust the Ranks. We're doing our week 12 ranking show. Thanks for joining us. We are here live every single Thursday. We also do shows live on TikTok pretty much every day of the week. You can find us over there. If you haven't followed us over there, we are up to 1,100 followers. We have tripled our followership in the last 2 months. So we appreciate that. And we're going live, answering a ton of questions all the time when we're live. In fact, I might go live really soon over there tonight as well. So join me over there in probably a couple of hours. Usually do a 4 p.m. Eastern over there on TikTok myself. If I don't, then Jesse Moeller, who's over on the West Coast, will do a later show from time to time. So check that out. We're also on Twitter. And listen, we're in these ranking streets. We're over here doing these shows. We got Start Sit on YouTube, on TikTok, all over the place. And of course, my rankings can be found on Fantasy Pros, as you just saw. Ryan's rankings soon to be on Fantasy Pros, definitely by next season, but he's in the pipeline of getting those things up there. Yeah, so they're. I
don't know if they want me after last week. Sure. I basically finished in dead last.
Well, listen, I don't know if they want me, but they told everybody on Twitter that I'm saying sell Zay Flowers. I'm still saying sell Zay Flowers. He doesn't score touchdowns. Great NFL player. Love the guy. He's a little too short. Lamar can't see him. Lamar's a little too short. Can't see him in the red zone. Yeah, it's just the truth. It's just the truth. All right, we're done. Appreciate you, Jamie. Appreciate all of you guys for joining and tuning in. This has been Adjust the Ranks, a part of the double FU, the FU times 2, the fantasy football universe. Thanks for joining. We'll see you next time.
Nice work, everyone. Sharp broadcast. Really good. Everyone on the floor as well. Really a lot of hustle. I liked it.